There were hundreds of people who applied for this role, and out of the hundreds, I was picked. And it didn't have to do with luck. It had to do with a skill that I picked up and learned 12 years ago. So quick backstory. 4 or 5 months ago, I applied for a role at this AI startup, and I was given a call by their hiring manager, and we talked for a little bit, and a few days passed after that conversation, and I was informed that I was not successful with the application this time. But I made it an effort or a point to get the LinkedIn of the hiring manager and stay connected. Fast forward, roughly 6 weeks ago, I saw a job listing or a role opening up at the startup company that I've applied to the months back. And coincidentally, as I was scrolling through LinkedIn also during that day, the hiring manager was hosting a meetup event, and I went to the event. And to my surprise, when I arrived at the event, the hiring manager saw me and remembered me. We had a quick conversation, and she informed me that, "Oh, Garrich, remember that role that you applied to a few months ago? We have a new role in that same position opening up, and I think you're perfect for the role and you should apply for it." But she gave me one tip, and that tip was to position myself in a way that makes me different than other people or other applicants. And that really stuck with me, because throughout this entire time in which I've been applying for a job, I've just been trying to apply it from a standpoint of, here's the AI skills that I learned in university, and here are some AI projects which I've done. And that was it. That was how I packaged myself. To think back at it, if you think of it in a big picture, in a big scale, there are hundreds or even thousands of people with the same exact resume. Hundreds of people just recently graduated computer science, did a major in AI and data science, did the same projects because it was a part of the university curriculum. So nothing really made you stand out. So what made me stand out? Interestingly enough, it was YouTube. My experience in YouTube over the past 12 years, from when I first uploaded my first ever YouTube video.
Oh, be ready to cringe, guys. Be ready. Oh, snap. Yeah. So, this is my face, guys, and all that stuff, guys. My headset might be huge, but the microphone quality
To now has given me the knowledge and capability of being able to sit in front of a camera, talk to it confidently and comfortably, while also packaging complex ideas in a way which is easier to understand for the audience. That was one of the massive things that helped me out in this job application, because as an AI startup where you have to interact with customers on a day-to-day basis, and the customers might not be tech savvy or understand this tech, it's very important to have somebody who can digest and understand complex ideas, break it apart, and figure out, how do I package this in a way that non-tech people can understand this easily. So the thing that I learned as a teenager ended up being the most pivotal thing that helped me stand out on top of every other applicant that applied for the same role. So I applied for the role with this mentality, and a few days later, I was invited to be interviewed by the CEO of this AI startup. And I showed up, well dressed of course, and we sat down at a cafe, and we had a good conversation where we talked about strengths, weaknesses, the mission of the startup, our mentality and how we do things and stuff like that. And the thing that made me want to work at the startup even more was that its position on how AI should be incorporated into the world. There are so many companies right now who are positioning their product in a way where it's like, with our product, we can reduce headcount, reduce the number of workers because you can just use our product. But the way this AI startup or this company is pitching their mission to me was that we're not trying to replace people. We're trying to empower and enable people with this new AI technology to help make their lives easier and help them regain their time that they would have spent in working on administrative tasks or repetitive tasks. We can reduce the time they spend on that and allow them to allocate more time in what converts into sales and clients. So that mentality really aligned with what my beliefs are in how AI should be used in the real world. So instead of a technology that reduces workers, you enable them to perform at a higher capability. And me and the CEO, we shared a very similar mindset in terms of, during our childhood, we had the same thing where we like to break things apart, figure out how it works, and just play around with things, experiment, and learn as we go. And just had that curiosity to figure out how things work and get good at them. That was really something that matched in terms of how we think. So it wasn't really the tech or the knowledge we had on the tech, it was more of the mentality and the mindset that you carry in to the organization and the team that really empowers the team to perform better, because you can learn knowledge but you can't really train and learn a personality trait or a mentality. And because of my experimental mindset, it really positioned me very well to enter the startup environment, because experimenting is basically the core of what a startup should be about. Experimenting, moving very quickly and trying out different things. If it doesn't work, pivot quickly to a different thing. And you won't have specific ground rules or instructions set up. You just have to figure it out on the go and develop these pipelines and protocols as you grow. So just having that curiosity really beats just being able to read stuff and just take that in. The curiosity to, oh, I just want to try this out real quick. That was another thing on top of the YouTube thing that positioned me very well. So if you're applying for a job right now, instead of trying to apply and trying to do what everybody is doing, putting in their grades, what they learned in school, try and find that unique thing that differentiates who you are as a person, and use that edge in your job applications, because your uniqueness might be just exactly what somebody is looking for to be a part of their company.